Cops investigating the crash that happened here tell me that their investigation is still ongoing. The board's decision essentially ended the hospital's very long battle to stay afloat. I had the pleasure of talking with one of the traders here on the floor.
Now, News 1 at 9.
Good evening, I'm Carol Wilkinson, and tonight for Jeff Gillen. Hundreds of acres in the Nevada mountains are now scorched from lightning-sparked wildfires.
Our temperatures for the past 3 weeks, Carol, have not been anywhere near normal. So it'd be good to finally get back to some of the 60s there.
Yeah.
You know?
Either that or take up a collection to send Dana and I to the Caribbean.
Yeah, I think I'm on that, actually.
Yes, for a couple of months. We can get that warm weather fix.
I've got my 20 bucks for you, ready to go.
All right, Ted, thanks. I don't know how much good that'll do, but thank you. You know, Colleen, it is not often that one gets a chance to take a part in writing of history. But for Mohammed Tamad, a structural engineer living in Las Vegas, the part he has played in defining his country's future will live with him forever.
You're watching Las Vegas 1 on Cox Cable. Live from the studios of the Las Vegas Sun and Channel 8's Eyewitness News, this is News 1 at 9.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carol Wilkinson, in tonight for Jeff Gillen. The Nevada governor's race took an ugly turn this week. Republican candidate Jim Gibbons is facing a number of allegations, including charges that he propositioned and assaulted a local cocktail waitress. And he's also accused of employing an illegal immigrant to work in his home. Now Gibbons and his Democratic opponent, Dina Titus, say they will focus on character in the final days before the election. Channel 8's Edward Lawrence reports.
This week complicated things for voters, according to the campaign manager for the Republican candidate for governor. Edward Lawrence, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, a new poll shows Gibbons with a 6-point lead over Titus, but the poll was taken before the latest Gibbons allegations were revealed. It all started for Congressman Gibbons 2 weeks ago at the McCormick and Schmick's restaurant in Las Vegas. Mr. Gibbons, his campaign advisor, and two friends were having drinks there when they were joined by Chrissy Mazzio and another woman. Mazzio says Gibbons later assaulted her while walking her to a parking garage across the street. Here's Channel 8 anchor Gary Waddell with a timeline of the night's events. An elderly man found wandering around McCarran Airport will soon be reunited with his son. Detani Jimenez has been hospitalized at Southern Hills Hospital since Monday when he arrived in Las Vegas from Miami. Police found him at the airport, confused and carrying only a bag of food. Authorities were finally able to contact his son in Florida. According to his son, a family friend was supposed to pick the elderly man up at the airport. The son says he will fly to Las Vegas, where he will be reunited with his father at the hospital. Well, a family killed in a plane crash in Arizona this week was from Georgia. The plane carrying a man, woman, and their two children crashed in a remote area about 80 miles east of Las Vegas on Wednesday. The plane was heading to Phoenix from San Francisco when it ran into bad weather. The Federal Aviation Administration says the pilot radioed in that the wings were icing up just before that crash.
This is Channel 8 Eyewitness News, Weekend Edition, in high definition.
Good morning. It's Sunday, August 16th. I'm Carol Wilkinson. Thanks for joining us. We'll have those stories that I just told you about in just a moment. But first, here's a live look outside this morning, and the lovely Calvert Collins has our Sunday forecast.
Well, if you liked Saturday, you're really going to like today.
Calvert, thank you so much. Metro Police are working to solve the murder of a homeless man who was found Friday night near US 95 and Desert Inn. It is the fourth murder of a homeless person since April of this year. Eyewitness News reporter Amanda Hernandez looks at this most recent crime and why these murders are so hard to solve. And that was, of course, Amanda Hernandez reporting. Now, if you have any information about this or any other crimes in the greater Las Vegas area, please call Crime Stoppers at 385-5555. In other news, authorities aren't providing details just yet, but police say the man who was shot and wounded by officers late Friday night had an extensive history of arrests. 36-year-old Michael Gibbs, you see him right there, is in critical condition after police shot him at a mobile home park on Nellis near Gowan. According to police who answered the call of a man wielding a weapon, Gibbs pulled a Bowie-type knife from under his shirt when officers approached him. He was shot several times and is now facing several felony charges, including assault with a deadly weapon and resisting arrest. President Obama is again targeting insurance providers as he continued his health care sales pitch in Colorado. The president got a warm reception at a Grand Junction high school as he tried to answer skeptics who say more government involvement will only make health care worse. He also accused insurance companies of turning their backs on the sick when those sick people need help the most.
In the past few years, more than 12 million Americans were discriminated against by insurance companies because of a pre-existing condition.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid will host a health care town hall over the telephone at the end of the month. The teletown hall meeting will take place on August 29th, and a phone system will dial thousands of homes in Nevada. You can also add your phone number to the list by logging on to Senator Reid's website a few days before that. School starts in about a week, and this weekend, parents all across the valley were heading to low-cost clinics for easy-to-afford immunizations.
News 1 at 9.
A major setback today for suspended District Court Judge Elizabeth Halverson. The Nevada Judicial Discipline Commission today denied her request to stop all proceedings against her until a ruling by the Nevada Supreme Court. The judge's attorneys are asking the High Court to block any further disciplinary action, saying the commission took too long to file formal charges. But the commission has decided to move forward. There is no timeline for a final ruling by the High Court. Judge Halverson is suspended with pay amid accusations that she behaved inappropriately both on and off the bench. President Bush delivered his final State of the Union address this evening. He covered a wide variety of topics, from the war in Iraq to Social Security and immigration. But the economy and what he calls unfinished business was the president's main focus. Susan Roberts reports.
Carol Wilkinson is in the newsroom with the latest for us. Carol.
That's right, Kaidi. Tonight, that intense investigation surrounding the crash of that Toyota Prius in suburban New York is sparking angry response from the police chief investigating its cause. A housekeeper driving the car 2 weeks ago in Harrison told police that the vehicle sped up on its own before crashing into a stone wall in spite of her attempts to stop by hitting the brakes. But investigators say a check of the car's computer system shows there was no application of the brakes and that the throttle was fully open. Now, at the same time, the Harrison police captain investigating the accident says federal authorities should not have released those findings without first consulting him. And he adds that his department's investigation is far from over, and that driver error has not been established. Now, Toyota has recalled, as you know, millions of its vehicles after increasing reports of a sudden acceleration problem. This latest incident brings to mind the case of that Toyota Prius in California earlier this month. Well, police in San Diego, you know, had to use one of their own patrol cars to stop the vehicle after its driver made an emergency 911 call from his cell phone saying he couldn't stop and that he was traveling as fast as 94 miles an hour. However, in that case, there have been some questions raised about the validity of the driver's claims, and Toyota says it has some doubts about the driver's version of what happened. We will, of course, hear more about that story. Reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Carol Wilkinson. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, Carol, thank you.
Let's go to Carol Wilkinson live in Tenafly. Carol?
That's right, Monica. Now, the road between West Railroad and Tenafly Road reopened to traffic just a short time ago. However, cops investigating the crash that happened here tell me that their investigation is still ongoing. Hours after the accident, investigators are still analyzing the scene and taking a critical look at this four-door Lexus. The accident happened just after 4:30 p.m. when police say the driver of the Lexus lost control of the vehicle while trying to back into a space at this CVS drugstore. 4 middle school girls sitting on the sidewalk at the time were injured, suffering cuts and bruises.
It's devastating. It's kind of scary to, see these kids. They're just nice day coming out of school. It's scary.
Restaurant owner Luis Correas heard the crash and rushed outside to help.
I take my phone and call 911 to help because I'm shot and I never see that happen before.
Now, at last check, those 7th grade girls who were injured in the crash were all taken to the hospital. We're told that they're still hospitalized, all in stable condition. Now, the driver of the vehicle, the woman that was trying to park her vehicle in front of that CVS drugstore, we're told that she wasn't hurt. She was a little bit shaken up. Well, she was taken to the hospital as a precaution. There's no word yet on whether she will face any charges. Reporting live from Tenafly, I'm Carol Wilkinson. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carol.
Eyewitness News coverage continues. Carol Wilkinson is live near Rainbow and Patrick with his story. Carol.
Good evening, Colleen. There is indeed a quiet joy being felt in one of the homes in this neighborhood because within one of these houses lives Mohammed Tamad, who was able to cast his ballot in the first democratic election his country has ever seen. As he watches the news coverage of the elections in his native Iraq, Mohammed Tamad feels a sense of pride that this historic day has finally arrived. Tamad returned from Los Angeles just this morning after casting the absentee vote that will give him a say in Iraq's future.
What I would like to see is that this assembly that's been elected, the 275-member assembly, succeed in writing a permanent constitution for the country of Iraq. And that would be, as I said, hopefully the first step in establishing a free and democratic Iraq.
Mr. Tamad, who is an engineer, left his native Iraq in 1982 to study in the U.S. His family members still live there, and he says they too took part in the voting process that will forever change the political atmosphere in that country. Now, Colleen, I asked Mr. Tamad, who last visited Iraq in 2001, whether he would ever consider returning there to live. He said that is indeed a consideration. It is not something that he plans for the near future, but then again, he still has hopes that Iraq's future will change for the better. Reporting live, I'm Carol Wilkinson, reporting for Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Newsroom reporter Carol Wilkinson is live tonight. Carol.
Jeff, good evening. Well, of course, the massive flames and that billowing smoke cloud are gone. But firefighters say do not be fooled. Their job is far from being completed. In the aftermath of Tuesday's massive brush fire at the county's Desert Wetlands Park, the burned trees and charred ground bear testament to what happened here.
It was beyond good.
At its peak, the fire near UNLV's Sam Boyd Stadium in the valley's southeast sent billowing black smoke and orange flames high into the sky over Las Vegas. Firefighters initially thought the flames had been extinguished, but hotspots cropped up throughout the night.
Got to take care of you guys. You're not wearing proper protective equipment. You're still in an uncontrolled fire area.
After venturing into this uncontrolled fire area, we found these firefighters. Their work far from over.
Copy that. Yeah, I just wanted to see what you got.
We're just checking for hotspots, making sure that we've got this section out.
Now, it may look like this is the aftermath of the blaze, but firefighters tell us that this area is still an uncontrolled hotspot. You can see them working behind me to make sure that the flames do not reignite. Is there a chance that this will reignite out here?
Well, we got plenty of fuel in the air still. All these trees can still burn. We've got plenty of fuel on the ground still that can still burn.
Now, there is still no official word on what caused that brush fire. However, firefighters tell us that they will remain on site throughout tonight and tomorrow should any flare-ups reignite. Reporting live, Carol Wilkinson, News 1.
All right, Carol, thank you very much.